Hey guys, my name is Enzo and welcome to the 2023 updated tech collection. I've had quite a few additions to the collection, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, let's get to the first device of my collection. 2003 Dell Inspiron 5150. Let's see if it still has battery. And the answer is no. Next we have my 2006 MacBook. This one I know works, it just has no battery, so I have to plug it in. Let's go to About This Mac. You can see 2 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo with 1 GB of RAM. I was actually thinking of upgrading the RAM so I could maybe update this to Snow Leopard or Lion. I know Snow Leopard only needs 1 GB of RAM, but I wanted to have some extra RAM so I could run Lion on this thing. But I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. Here's something that we're all familiar with. My 2011 15-inch MacBook Pro. And now we go into About This Mac. You can see it's a 15-inch early 2011 model, 2 GHz Intel Core i7 with 4 gigs of RAM. And as you can see, I disabled the AMD GPU, and it runs only the Intel graphics now. I never show this off, but here's my Lenovo ThinkCentre, I think from 2012. And as you can see, I don't just use one monitor anymore. It has 3.2 GHz Intel Core i5, has 8 gigs of RAM. It has a 250 gigabyte hard drive, which I should upgrade. And it's running Windows 10. And last but not least, we have my 2014 Mac Mini. It has a 1.4 gigahertz Intel Core i5, 4 gigs of RAM, and also a 500 gigabyte spinning hard drive. Yeah, I still need to upgrade the hard drive in this computer. Moving on to handheld devices, we have my iPod 5th generation, which needs to be charged. But as you can see, it does indeed turn on. It works. It's an 80 gigabyte model, so you know it's a 5.5 gen. Here is an iPhone 3G that has 8%. It needs to be charged. But it works. Watch is gonna f***ing die as soon as I do that. Oh. I knew it. It like exited the app on its own. It's just like, no, you can't do that, you idiot. Next, we have an iPhone 3GS. It's actually charging. I was trying to charge it up before the start of this video, but you know, I couldn't get it up charged fast enough. So moving on, we have this iPhone 4 that actually cannot hold a charge. That's why it's dead right now. But yeah, this runs iOS 7. It's a 16 gigabyte model, and the battery does not last long at all. So yeah, we're gonna move on. Here we have a 32 gigabyte iPod Touch 5th generation. This has been featured on my channel before. Was actually my first YouTube camera ever back in 2013. Yeah, 2013. I've been on YouTube for almost 10 years. March will be 10 years since I've been on this god-awful platform. The battery is also dead, and also the home button is broken. I would have to charge this up, but like a lot of my devices are dead, so I only have 2 working lightning cables, and one's already being used right now for my SE. Moving on, we have my iPhone 5. Now this device is actually starting to kind of slow down. Well, not really slow down, but the battery life is kind of getting bad. I'd say it's a pretty good addition to my collection. I don't know what else to say about it. It's 32 gigabytes, it's running iOS 10. Yeah, let's move on. Here's one of the new additions to my Apple collection is this iPhone 5S. It's a 16 gigabyte model running iOS 12, and I did actually jailbreak it just yesterday, actually. 13 new widgets available. I don't think I want to do that. Moving on, we have this 8 gigabyte iPhone 5C. Oh, I've never actually owned an iPhone 5C before, and this is my first 5C. I remember my sister had the pink 5C, and that thing was like indestructible. She would drop it all the time, and it would never break. And yeah, it was such a great phone. It's running iOS 10.3.3. I'm actually confused on why the 5C didn't get 10.3.4 while the 5 did. They both have the same processors, the same internals and everything, so that's kind of confusing. Here is my iPhone 6S. This is actually a fully working iPhone 6S. The battery is just dead. Yeah, a lot of these devices in my collection are dead, so I need to really charge them. But this is a fully working, not iCloud locked iPhone 6S. It is 32 gigabytes. It's running iOS 15.7.1. And I actually use this as a secondary device to my current iPhone. Here is my iPhone SE. This was my main phone back in 2018 and 2019 until I got my iPhone XR and eventually my iPhone 14 Pro. Yeah, this thing is pumped full of apps and stuff that I don't use. That's why they're all offloaded. It's because I use them on my main phone instead of this. And the battery on this thing is actually kind of weird on this one. It says 83% health. And if you look right here, the battery percentage goes from 100% to about 50% to 25%, and then just blank 1%. Now that's it for the iPhones. Let's move on to Androids. I don't know which one came out first, so we're gonna start with the Samsung. Here is my Samsung Galaxy S5. I'm surprised it actually booted. It's supposed to be charged right now, but I don't have it plugged in. It's running Android 6.0.1 or something like that. Oh, yeah, there you go. It needs to be charged. I bought this in February of 2022 for the Amazon video. If you haven't seen the video about the Amazon product I just made, you should go watch that right now, or at least when you're done watching this video. Here's some TCL phone that I was actually going to smash for a video, but the battery, oh, I guess it's powering on. The battery is really low on this one as well, so I need to charge it as well. This takes micro USB as well as the next phone and the previous phone. I only have one working micro USB cord because literally every single micro USB cord that I use literally gets messed up somehow. It actually seems to be booting up. Oh, wow, 1% remaining. Here's the home screen. Everything appears to be working actually. Next we have this ANS phone. I think this is just some garbage Android phone. I don't really have a use for it, but I don't know, I didn't smash it just for some odd reason. This was actually supposed to be some Android phone I was gonna smash, but I didn't. I don't even know what version of Android it is. I think it's Android 7. And now that we're done with smartphones, let's move on to game consoles. Starting off, we have my Nintendo DSi. I got this back in 2009 for Christmas. Oh, that sounds great. This was a Christmas gift given to me in 2009, and as you can see, it still works perfectly fine. Let's try inserting a game into it, and as you can see, the game card slot works, and we can launch the game. Yep, there you go. We have my original, launch model Nintendo 3DS. It still has quite a bit of battery left, so let's see what happens. And there's already a game in here, Tomodachi Life. And I also have the original Zelda on here. I got this sometime in 2012, I think. 2012 or 2011, I'm not quite sure. But I've had this for a few years. The last of the handheld consoles we have is my PlayStation Vita. And here's my home screen. I don't really have a lot of things on here. Everything's organized in kind of a weird way. I've got this for my 12th birthday in 2017. I've had this for about 5 to 6 years, which is really interesting how far time flies, huh? Now, one thing I should mention is the thumbsticks on this console. We'll see if I touch the thumbsticks a little bit and, let go. You see, I still move around, and I'm not touching the controller anymore. As well as if I look around, It'll also look on its own. Here we have that $80 Wii that I got from Texas a year ago. Yeah, this thing doesn't really get used. The most I use it is to hold up a outlet extender, as seen here. Next, we have this Xbox 360. Now, this is probably the only console that's actually plugged in. And it still works. And speaking of consoles that I never plugged in, here's my Xbox One. Yes, it does work. Yes, I have turned it on recently. I don't have any free outlets for it to be plugged in, so it just sits on my dresser collecting dust, as you can see. Alright guys, writing down to the final 5 products. First, we have my first gen iPad. You can see YouTube Studio right there. This iPad needs to be charged. I don't really charge anything in my collection, as you can see here. Yeah. It's a 64GB model running iOS 5.1.1. And I got this in 2017. Don't ask why. I wanted to experience old iOS, so I kind of just got this. Moving on, we have the iPad 2, which actually has some battery on it. And by some, I mean it's fully charged. It's a 16GB model running iOS 9.3.5. This originally was jailbroken, but since I reset it, because jailbroke messed with the system storage, it's no longer jailbroken, so now it's just stock iOS. Here is the Sony Handycam that I used to use with my PC until I got my MacBook fixed and eventually the Mac Mini. Yeah, the battery, hello. The battery is dying. I have not charged this in forever. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I put a Windows XP sticker on it for literally no reason. I took it from that Dell Inspiron that I have. It has a 32GB SD card in here. And here is the Canon G7X. I don't know if this has any battery in it. Oh yeah, it does. And it actually seems to be fully charged as well. Okay. Well, I will be using this as well soon. I don't know when, but soon. There's stuff on the lens cap. This has been a good camera, and I can't believe how good it is, even for its age. This came out in like 2014, I think, and it's still a pretty good camera. And last but not least, we have the Asus laptop. This will be its own video in the future, so stay tuned for that. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.